welcome back to A Sprinkle of Disney, the podcast, and we're sharing episode 7. Wow, 7 with you today. I can't believe that. Like,
that feels really special.
We say this every episode, and I'm so
that
sorry. It probably sounds a bit like a broken record, but this is very exciting for us both. So,
I mean, it's your own fault because you're still here listening, so you're encouraging our behaviour.
Yeah,
so.
Welcome back, or if you're new, welcome, and this is what you let yourself in for. But yes, if you are returning, thank you very much. And actually, thank you very much to everyone that's been listening, because we realised that we've got quite a loyal following now.
Yeah,
so
we're a bit in shock, so thanks.
Yeah, thanks guys. But yeah, so this episode is special, so a big boo to you, as this is our first Halloween special. I'm very excited about this. I've been looking forward to doing like a special episode for so long.
Yeah,
because I just know like it's just nice to have like something to celebrate as well, especially this year. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think when we initially talked about setting up the podcast, we were like, oh, we could do special episodes for special occasions, and this is the first special occasion we've hit, so we're very excited. So we're releasing it now so that you've kind of got like 2 weeks before Halloween to listen to what we're going to talk about today, and then obviously like get that those Halloween juices pumping, and
get
like,
the
get the
hype
Halloween
flowing.
spirit, because we didn't want to give you like it on Halloween and then Halloween be over, because how sad would that be?
Yeah.
So we are both big Halloween fans, in case you couldn't tell. So we didn't really need an excuse to blend Disney and Halloween together, really. We're going to be reviewing one of our favourite films ever. We're going to be reviewing Hocus Pocus. It's a Disney film, if you didn't know. I didn't know until a few years ago.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so we're really, really excited. You probably heard us talk about it on our Instagram stories, on like our previous podcast. We definitely talked about it as well.
Oh, yeah.
We love Hocus Pocus. And we'll tell you more about that in a bit. But we're also going to give you some more Disney Plus recommendations for anyone who kind of is looking for those like scary movies to get you into the spooky spirit, since we can't exactly go trick-or-treating or visit Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party this year. So we need to find our Disney Halloween fix elsewhere. So that's the plan for today.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
And that brings us on to our first Disney fun fact of the day. Or the podcast, because you might be listening at night. Who knows? So I love this. The Disney cruise ships get their Halloween makeover in just 2 hours. So they basically transform it is all the time. I know normally when they transform the ship, they do it overnight when guests are asleep. This one, apparently, like when they dock, it's like a specific Halloween cruise that you go on. Oh my God. So when they dock, they literally have like 2 hours whilst the ship's in port to change over before the guests get on for the Halloween cruise.
That's so cool. That's so exciting. Like, I love that.
That would be stressful though. Like, imagine trying to sort that out as a crew. You'd be like, imagine if something broke.
Yeah, like trying to provide the magic, because everyone would be like anticipating like such a magical time at Halloween, because Disney is magical, and then at like special seasons it's even more magical.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of pressure, but I feel like it's worth it, because I think people would appreciate it.
That is one thing that I would love to do. I know when the cruise ships did like a Frozen festival, they were literally in the middle of like, was it the fjords, or they were in the middle of the ocean somewhere, and literally overnight they transformed it into like a Frozen festival thing, and then it was gone the next day. Like, it's so clever.
That's so cool, 'cause it's so like exclusive. It's such a like special thing that it's like there for that period of time, and then goes, we need to.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just about to say that. I was like, we need to go on a Disney cruise together, and to Mickey's Not So Scary as well. We have to do.
Oh yeah. These
like bucket list goals for our friendship. Yeah. So
it's so true. Well, because when I worked in Disney World, my leader had, because obviously when you work there, you get like you sometimes get offers or discounts on things like cruise lines. So my leader had worked at Disney for quite a while, so he was telling me about it, and he said like it's the best service you'll ever get. He was like, the first night you go, like you'll get. So you go and you sit down with your server, and they're like, oh, here's, like, you order chicken or whatever, and you order like a Coke. And when you rotate to the next restaurant the next night, your server goes with you, and they'll be like, so here are all the chicken dishes on offer tonight, and I've already poured you a Coke. And it's all like, they kind of
so
make
personalised.
Anyway, never mind.
We can dream about it. We've got loads of time to plan it. Let's think of the positives. We'll get there one day. Anyway. So to get us into the Halloween mood, we're going to do some quick fire Halloween questions. We love a quick fire. I love these.
Every time I say quick fire, Rosie's like, yes.
I just love it because it feels like such a fun activity, but actually I end up getting stressed. Typical me as a person. So some are Disney themed, inspired by the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, which neither of us have gone to yet. It's a bit sad. But we will one day, as we said.
It was quite depressing. I was actually in Florida when it started because the Halloween parties in Florida start in August. And I was there till the end of August. But I had to work on the first night that it was released. And I worked in the sweet shop at that point in Candy Cauldron, and everything was pumpkin. Like I was telling Rosie before, like the fudge, the apples, the cookies, the popcorn, like honestly, anything was like that could be made pumpkin was made pumpkin. It was crazy. So it was in the middle of August. It was really cool. We used to have like the pumpkin style biscuit. It was crazy. To go home after wait like another month for Halloween was crazy.
Because you'd already had the build up with all the pumpkin stuff and everything.
So it was really sad that I didn't get to go to one when I was there, but we will go. We need to plan our holiday there over Halloween because I think it's one of the best times to go.
We do definitely because I want to see the Hocus Pocus show.
I want to do the Hocus Pocus show, but I don't know if they'll let me on the stage.
We should do it as the Sanderson sisters with Danielle. Right. Anyway,
I'm going to set the timer.
Okay. Yeah, we need to be strict with this because we could go on forever.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So here we go. First one. So Pooh's Halloween costume or Piglet's Halloween costume?
Pooh's Halloween costume every single time.
So Pooh, for those who don't know, dresses up as a bee. And I just can't just look it up now while you're listening because I was saying to Katie before I squealed when I saw it because I hadn't seen it before. Piglet is a cute butterfly. Adorable. Yeah, they are.
But Pooh takes the biscuit. I'm sorry.
It's his little bee hat. I can't.
The fact that he loves honey.
It's just I think it's because his costume's too small.
That is the best part. Is the fact that his costume is well too small for him.
Yeah.
It just makes it even cuter. So is yours Pooh as well then?
It is, yes. In case you couldn't tell.
Okay, next one. So Rosie, sweets or chocolate? And that's quite vague, but where do you lean?
Yeah, it's quite vague, but I think I'd lean towards chocolate because I think I can eat more chocolate. Sweets, I feel like I get to the point where I'm like, oh no, I've had enough of this chewing business.
Your teeth are like, nah, I'm done with that.
Yeah, they're like, no, you've got too much plaque going on now, hon.
I agree. I think I love sweets, especially things like fruit pastels. But chocolate, I always lean to chocolate before I lean to sweets. I think.
Yeah, and there's just so many different variations of chocolate. I know there are sweets as well.
M&M chocolate bar, if anyone actually cares, is my absolute favourite at the moment.
Yeah, that is good.
Anyway. Okay.
So, would you rather carve the pumpkin or eat the pumpkin?
So I'm not a very good pumpkin carver. I'm a bit of a disaster. I try really hard, but it just always looks a little bit deformed. So I mean, I don't really want to eat it either. I quite like pumpkin soup. I had that when I worked in a smoothie smoothie shop that also sold soup. That sounds very random. We used to make homemade soup, and that's where I learned how to make pumpkin soup, and that was really nice. I think I'd go with carve because you have more fun.
Okay.
And you can try and be creative.
I mean, at least if it's a bit of a mess, it's meant to be scary anyway, so it might just, turn out to be scary.
In a different way of how this person thought they could carve a pumpkin. How about you?
So I've always wanted to eat pumpkin pie, and I know that's not a pumpkin, but obviously there's pumpkin in it. You know, in Gossip Girl, a bit of a tangent, but in Gossip Girl, Blair makes pumpkin pie, and I used to think it looked like the most beautiful, tasty creation in the world.
Probably is,
Yeah, so I just have to say the pumpkin.
I agree,
because I'm just intrigued. I'm intrigued.
So basically, I had a friend who was from America, and she came over to Lancaster Uni where we both went, and she was here over Thanksgiving, so we did a Thanksgiving for her, and she brought sweet potato pie as dessert, and I was like, what is wrong with you, hon? I was like, I'll try it. Oh my god, it was so good. Americans that are listening, you guys know how to dessert. It was so good. So if pumpkin pie is anything like that, then I 1,000% agree. Okay, The next one might seem a little bit rogue, but Moana or Sully. And the reason this is asked is because both of these characters are like exclusive meet and greets during the Halloween party.
So as much as I love Sully, it would have to be Moana. I need to meet Moana at some point in my life.
I need a picture with my main wayfinder.
Yeah, you definitely do. Like if it was out of the two of us, I'd be like, Katie, you need to go. I'll go with Sully.
Oh yeah, I need my Moana picture desperately. I just need to meet her and like her vibes.
Yes. Okay, I agree with that. Okay. Haunted Mansion or Tower of Terror?
It's such a hard one because they're such different rides, and I personally feel don't come for me that the Haunted Mansion is a little bit overrated.
Oh yeah, I haven't even been on the one in Florida, but I feel like the one in Paris is overrated. So I think I'd agree.
I feel like if I went at Halloween, it would be much better. I feel like I'd be in the zone, but it feels a bit weird to randomly go in the middle of like the blistering Floridian heat.
I agree with that.
July to go into the Haunted Mansion. But my roommate, when I worked at Disney, she actually worked on the Haunted Mansion, and her costume was the best costume.
Yeah, they do look so nice.
She actually worked on the ride during a Halloween party, and the makeup that she had, and she got like pictures in like the graveyard outside it was well cool.
Oh, that's cool.
But I also love like the theming of it and the Tower. If we're going with the Tower of Terror in Paris, then it would be Tower of Terror.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going with Florida, it's going to have to be Haunted Mansion because the Tower of Terror actually scared me to death because it was pitch black. So we're going to go with Haunted Mansion because I like all the spinning and the doom buggies. There's lots to look at.
It's quite tame, isn't it? So...
Yeah, but if we're in Paris, Tower of Terror all the way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'd say the same. So Haunted Mansion's nice for aesthetic reasons, and like the novelty of it. But Tower of Terror, as much as I like screamed when I was on that ride, I love the adrenaline when you come off it. And I love the build up with like the story when you get in the lift.
And the cast members in that ride are amazing. Like the cast members in Haunted Mansion are still great, like with the like the stretching room and stuff. But I feel like because like the loading for that is a little bit more stressful than like because it's like a continuous one. So I feel like you get like a better loading experience in Tower of Terror when they're literally like pointing at you to get in this like
It's quite terrifying
when they like look above your head and there's a hole and then like waves at me as the door closed. And I was like, this is not funny. I also just bought presents. I just brought like presents of glasses.
Oh no!
I was like,
this isn't the time.
Right, next one is pumpkin spice themed. So pumpkin spice latte or pumpkin spice fudge.
So I'm a bit of a basic gal. So I do like a pumpkin spice latte, even though I'm not really a coffee fan. I've had one like as an annual thing from Starbucks, but I don't think I'm gonna get one this year. So I'd probably go with that. Although I do love fudge and I'd love to try because I've never had pumpkin spice fudge before. So probably a bit of both.
I've never had pumpkin spice fudge, but I do not like coffee. Even though the smoothie and soup place that I mentioned before also served coffee.
Just keeps growing.
Yeah, I know. It was a really like random place when I think back on it. And I feel like coffee tastes like dirt. I've tried it all different ways. So I've really tried, but it's a no for me. So it's even though I haven't had pumpkin spice fudge, I love fudge, especially like Disney fudge. So fudge for me.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, Jack Skellington or Sally?
See, I love this film. Rosie's not as big a fan of this film as I am, but I love this film. However, Jack is just a little bit self-centered, and Sally just needs to like get a grip. But it's my summary. But I think Sally is my fave because Sally is so determined. Like, if anyone's seen the film, that weird little creepy guy wants to keep her locked up, and she was not having it. She literally rips herself apart to be her own person. So I'm going with Sally.
Wow.
Even though Jack Skellington's songs are banging.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna pick him because of the songs are quite iconic, but now you've said that, basically a bit of a spoiler. I've never actually managed to finish this film. I don't know what it is about it. I don't feel the vibe, and I turn it off. So I'm sorry, people.
I've told her when we're gonna watch it together, and I'm gonna make her realise what a wonderful film
I need to embrace it. I think I did probably watch it when I was younger, but I don't remember it.
Yeah.
So like to me, that's like a bad sign. And I tried it again.
You also liked Pinocchio as a kid. So.
I know, clearly I've changed. So I think I'll go Sally, just based on what you said. And I did think Jack was quite self-centered anyway. So yes.
Yeah. It was really scary faces. Right. I think I know the answer to this one. But Winifred Sanderson or Mary Sanderson?
Well, I mean, I can't not pick myself, can I? So basically, for those who do not know, haven't listened to our previous episodes, I think we've described it before.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah,
I
we
think.
have. Yeah. So I'm Mary Sanderson, it seems, and I just kind of got put into this role, and I've come to love her more recently, though. Actually,
You have.
yeah, I have. So
I mean, initially Rosie was fuming.
yeah,
But what we tried to explain to Rosie, so basically, there's three of us are not like friends. It's me, Danielle, and Rosie. We watched Hocus Pocus, and we're like, oh my god, it's like us three. And Rosie was made Mary, not by default, like she likes to claim, but because Mary loves a good snack, and Rosie is a snack queen. Like, if you ever go anywhere, Rosie's like, I've got snacks.
It's true.
You're like, you're hungry? She's like, oh, I have a granola bar if you want one. And it's just like when Mary's like obsessed with food. So.
It's kind of a natural fit. However, Winnie is just next level.
What a babe.
So, and obviously she must be your favourite, I'm guessing.
Of course she's my favourite, because in case you couldn't guess, I was told I was Winnie. I think this is because I'm really bossy and loud.
You're just quite dramatic, and she is very
well, there's
dramatic.
that as well, actually. I forgot about that. There's the whole like song sequence that is definitely me in our kitchen when we live together.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, when she just like goes on stage to start singing I Put a Spell on You, that is just you. Like I just feel like you'd do that. So
But the sad thing is Rosie and Danielle weren't my backing dancers or singers in the kitchen.
No,
so I was let down.
We didn't live up to our roles in that sense. Okay.
No, disappointing.
So, Shadow Man or Hades?
Oh, I love Hades. I love Hades sass, but I'm gonna have to go Shadow Man because I love Princess and the Frog, and I love that like, the whole Shadow Man vibe is very different. So I like that.
Yeah.
You?
Yep, I'm the same. I love Shadow Man. I think he's such a great character, and I just love all the cards, like the tarot cards and everything. I just think,
so clever.
He's really cool. And Princess and the Frog is amazing.
Okay, skeletons or zombies?
Ooh, I feel like zombies are more interesting. But like skeletons are more like Halloween-y, like traditional Halloween-y. So I'm gonna go zombies, I think.
Zombies freak me out too much. Like I feel like with skeletons, like I think back to when I used to watch Pirates of the Caribbean, like the first one when they all turned into skeletons, like it didn't really freak me out as a kid. Yeah. So like I'm all right-ish with skeletons, which is weird because I'm weird with bones in the body. But zombies, like I just find them like either really weird and boring or just like
a bit too freakish.
So I just think it's just a bit like just no. And I feel like zombies could actually happen, whereas skeletons are not
that's very true actually. Like apocalypse could actually happen, but us all turning into skeletons,
probs not.
No.
So I'm gonna go with skeletons. That's me.
Yeah. Okay, and then trick and treat or Halloween movies?
This is really hard because actually my answer is both. Because I love going on like a cheeky trick I can't even say it, trick or treat, like around the neighborhood with my little sweet bucket, my little Halloween pumpkin bucket, collect all my free sweets from my neighbors, exploit them, and then you come home and watch a Halloween movie.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
But I feel like as you get older, it's less acceptable to go and
unfortunately it is. Yeah, it's quite
thankfully
sad.
I have a younger brother and sister, so I got away with it for a lot longer than I probably should have done. Yeah, so probably now I'd probably go Halloween movies now. But actually I changed my answer completely and say a Halloween fancy dress party or a Halloween night out are the best nights out.
Yeah, like just dressing up for Halloween's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like one leads to the other for me. So like if it was acceptable to go trick-or-treating, because I would for the snacks, and I'd definitely try and get the most out of it. I'd be like, any more? And then I'd go home.
You would be that kid that held the bag open longer and then looked like, is that it?
I'd be the one that would like throw shade as I walk away, like, oh, this person only gave me this. Like, this is not acceptable.
You'd be like, house number 32 gave me 3 chocolate bars and you literally gave me an apple.
Yeah, not coming back to you again. And I feel like it leads on nicely to the Halloween movie because then that's your snack for the film. So I think it's kind of both for those ones.
And I think I've discovered more Halloween movies. I didn't really watch them as a kid. I think I've discovered more in my like late teenage, like adult years.
Yeah.
So I feel like I appreciate them more. And that brings us to the end of segment 1.
Oh, I feel like I'm hyped now.
Rosie, I know I'm hyped. I'm ready for the Halloween discussion.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Which means that Rosie's going to bring us our next Disney fun fact.
Okay, so both Disneyland and the Magic Kingdom are transformed for Halloween over the course of a single night. Oh, I love that as well. I just love how they make the magic happen like so fast.
Yeah, it was crazy because they don't necessarily like it. Well, they announced the date, I think, briefly,
Mm.
but like I was there when this happened, and I remember literally going because our friend Shannon, who was the president of our Disney Society, it's actually the reason that basically that me and Rosie met.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, Shannon, there's a shout out. And she was in America at the time, and she came to visit me with because I had like free tickets that I could give her at the time. And when we went in, it was like all the Halloween stuff was up, and I was like, this wasn't here yesterday. I was like, what is happening? But it's great because we got great like unique pictures and stuff. But it's like on the lamppost and everything. Like it's crazy. So yeah, I don't know how they do it so quickly. It's mental.
It's just so cool, and I love the Halloween decorations as well. The pumpkins.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're just so cool. Like, and all the different photo ops are just brilliant. So yeah.
Basically, we have to go. We have to do it at some point.
We do, because I want to go and dress up. And Rosie, you would love. I never went, but you would love. They have snack stations.
Oh yeah, I've seen these.
Yeah. There's rooms of sweets. That would be so you.
It would.
Right. Okay, segment 2 then. We're going to talk about Disney film selections in regards to Halloween. So whilst it's not like the main focus of Disney films, they do make a fantastic Halloween movie. In fact, at the minute, they've actually put together a really great Halloween collection on Disney+. So when you kind of go on Disney+ and scroll down a little bit, there's a big Halloween section, which is great at the minute if you're looking for something to watch. Like, what more do you need to convince you to get cozy with a blanket on the sofa and a hot chocolate than a Disney collection?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, it's just perfect because they like do it all for you, don't they? You don't have to go, oh, let's search for Halloween films.
That's my favourite part about Disney+ at the minute is they make my life so easy.
Yeah.
Like
you just have to like literally open it up, and then in front of you, you've got all these options laid out in categories, and I love it because it makes it easier for someone that's quite indecisive already, because then you've got it all laid out in front of you. It's like, these are your options, you have to pick from these.
Yeah.
So,
and things you wouldn't normally think about. So like, we're going to talk about some of the films in a second, but like Coco, for example, is obviously like quite a Halloweeny film.
Yeah.
But I would never think of it in that way either. So yeah.
Yeah, same. Yeah. So some of the most notable films that they've got on there are Halloween Town, Nightmare Before Christmas, Hocus Pocus, of course. The only true one. Frankenweenie, Coco, Maleficent, Haunted Mansion, Into the Woods, Twitches, Descendants. Oh, great films.
I still need to watch. I'm going to watch this Halloween. I'm going to watch them.
You need to do a marathon because there's 3 of them.
I know.
And the songs are bangers. I know you're going to love them. And then there's even a spooky Toy Story short. I've watched that, and that is very good, actually.
I haven't seen it yet because I remember when that came out initially, and it came out on Sky, didn't it? Like way back. So I haven't seen it yet, but I'm definitely going to watch it. I love the Toy Story shorts. They actually make me laugh so hard.
I know.
They shouldn't
cute
do.
And wholesome.
They shouldn't make me laugh at all. I should be like rolling my eyes, but I just think they're so funny.
Yeah, no, they are.
Because I haven't seen most of them actually. I've seen Nightmare Before Christmas and Hocus Pocus, Coco, Maleficent. I think I saw Haunted Mansion like many, many years ago, but I also remember making that up.
Is that the one with Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I've seen that.
I love Into the Woods.
Oh, so funny.
Such a good, that is such a fantastic film. Like, it's hilarious. Twitches was like a Disney Channel movie. I mean, I just love it. And there's Twitches and there's Twitches 2. The CGI and the graphics are terrible, but it also has 2 black female leads. So which for its time, when we think back, pretty impressive. So yeah, they are my kind of like the ones that I've seen. I feel like I need to watch Halloween Town. Our friend Danielle keeps telling us to watch Halloween Town.
Well, yes, I watched it this week.
You didn't tell me.
Well, I was going to wait until now, you see? Even you get a spoiler.
It's true. So yeah, I feel like I need to watch that one, but I haven't seen that one. So what's your go-to Disney film then, Rosie?
It's interesting actually, because I don't feel like my go-to like Halloween films are actually Disney ones. So I think like out of these ones though, like now it's become Hocus Pocus because it's just our film.
It means more now.
It does. It's got so much meaning to it, and actually like aside from all that, it's actually such a great film, as we'll discuss in more detail.
We shall.
But yeah, I think that's like my go-to out of that list. But I'd say like Descendants, like I didn't even watch that for the first time around this time. Yeah. But it is very like, it's got like a lot of spookiness and like creepiness in it, and because they're the descendants of the villains, it's really interesting to like see what they're like from their kind of parents and stuff, because they are, you know, they're badly behaved. So yeah, I love Descendants. So I feel like I would probably watch Coco as well, because I love Coco. But again, like you said, it's not for me. It's not like a Halloween, like it has to be Halloween kind of film.
And then because obviously it's not like we can watch it whenever, but I did watch it last week and it definitely got me into the Halloween spirit more than I thought it would, because obviously it's literally Dia de las Muertas, which obviously like Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
So when you actually think about it, it's very Halloween-y.
It is, yeah, that's true. Oh, I love that film. But yeah, so I've not seen Frankenweenie. Or not fully Nightmare Before Christmas. I've seen Haunted Mansion. I'm kind of the same. Like it was okay, but like it's not something I'd go back and
I just don't remember it. I feel like I need to watch it again because I just don't remember it at all. I feel like I almost get it confused with Corpse Bride, which isn't a Disney film, is it?
No, it's not.
But I get the two confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think probably Hocus Pocus is my like favourite, but also something we've not mentioned, I'm guessing it's not on Disney Plus. I don't know if I made this up, but I feel like when I was younger, there was definitely a Halloween Winnie the Pooh film, like a little short, because they do like a Christmas one that I watch every year. And I think there was definitely a Halloween one, and I just remember that being cute because they were like trick-or-treating at each other's houses.
Oh, stop it. I need to find that.
You know, it's only the 100 Acre Woods. There was only like a few houses, but it was so cute.
Oh.
So yeah, I'd say Hocus Pocus is definitely now my go-to, having seen it so many times. But yeah, what's yours?
See, I feel like, so basically we watch Hocus Pocus all year round because it's become our film as a friendship group. So I know obviously it's a Halloween film, but I feel like I can watch it whenever. Yeah. Actually, to be fair, I feel like that about most of the films that I like, but actually my go-to film is actually Nightmare Before Christmas. Because I feel like it is, I don't know, I just feel like it has like the songs are fantastic, and that is a big one for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's one that I just quite enjoy it. But Hocus Pocus is in the film, like if I was with my friends watching a Halloween movie, that would be the one that would go on.
Yeah.
And it's probably the one that I've like watched like around Halloween, like on Halloween time. It would be like the Halloween film spot. Whereas Nightmare Before Christmas might be more like get me in the zone.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're my go-tos. I think something that's like a little bit like clinging, things like Into the Woods is creepy, but it's not technically a Halloween film.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Hocus Pocus and Nightmare Before Christmas, I just love them. Oh,
interesting.
So I mean, you might have already answered this, but is there a Disney Halloween film you would want to watch this year that you haven't seen yet?
So I need to try and give Nightmare Before Christmas a good go, don't I? Really.
You need to wait until I'm there though, because I feel like if I'm not there to press you into finishing it,
I'll just be like, yeah, I watched it, and you're like, what happened? And I'm like, oh, there were scary things. So yeah.
And it was Christmas.
And I feel like you'll make it funny. So yeah, okay, fine, I'll wait. Okay, so in that case then, I guess I've not seen Frankenweenie before, so I might give that one a go. I suppose I watched Halloween Town though as like my new Halloween film for this year anyway, which I recommend, by the way. It's really good. It's very nostalgic. It's like very old kind of feel to it. It's quite cute. It's not as good as Hocus Pocus, sorry, but
of course. I mean, what could it ever be?
It's definitely good. What would yours be?
Mine, I think this year it's probably going to be Descendants, because I feel like it's one that I have needed to watch because Danielle and Rosie have both seen them and keep going on about how fantastic they are.
I hope they live up to your expectations now. Sorry.
So I feel like I need to watch those because I think they're kind of like still like they're quite like high energy films, but they're still like Halloweeny. So yeah, the ones that I would be looking for.
Yes.
Cool. And then that actually brings us to the end of that segment. Just check it. Yeah, cool. We got through that quicker than I expected, so that's cool.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
So that brings us to Disney fun fact number 3. This is such a cool fun fact.
I love this.
So Hocus Pocus could have actually starred Leonardo DiCaprio. He was offered the part of Max, which is the little boy in the film. When I say little boy, the little teenage brat, but we'll get to
the selfish brat, yeah.
But he actually turned it down for another project. This film, I mean, I love Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
But imagine Leo.
I can't. I actually can't. Like,
I wish he'd been in this film.
Same. I just think Max would have changed. I know he would have still had to have the same kind of like vibe, but I think it being Leo would have just made things so much more easier to watch. Like, I think that's such a cool fact.
I know, and what a shame that he didn't do it. I guess because the other thing that he did, I had no idea what it was. So I didn't even put it in. I don't even know what it was.
No, but I did read, because I read this as well. I love how we both like came to the same fact.
Yeah.
And I did read that he did actually get the other like role in the project, and it like he enjoyed it and stuff. But I just think this is now like an iconic film. So
Yeah, like I'm trying to find what's Eating Gilbert Grape.
I've definitely heard of it, but I don't think it's like.
I mean, I've never heard of it. I mean, is it Hocus Pocus though?
Exactly,
No.
he missed out. Leo, if you're listening, you made a mistake.
You were let down.
You've gone down in our estimation now, I'm afraid.
I know, if only. I mean, Romeo and Juliet, you were flying. You could have been like way beyond that. If
Titanic, I mean,
just don't want to disappoint them. Cool, that brings us on to our Hocus Pocus review section, which I'm very excited about. So I'm going to try and provide you an overview of the plot. I'll be quite honest, again, it's quite tricky because it's quite an intricate plot at times. So it's set in Salem, of course, because that's where all the witches are. And it actually starts like, what is it, in like the 1817, like the something hundreds, like way back when.
I think. Yeah.
Way back when like the witch trials were like a thing. And it opens them with like the three Sanderson sisters who have been accused of being witches. And let's be honest, they are. Like, they're accused of it, but they are full-on child kidnappers. And it opens like this little girl has like ran off. Because Sarah, one of the sisters, has a lovely singing voice, which can summon children, which is definitely not dodgy at all. No. This little girl basically like gets captured by these three old women, these three witches. Her brother follows her to try and help. Is completely hopeless, like all the men in this film.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Recurring theme.
Follows her into the house, watches his sister kind of like get eaten alive or whatever it is, and then he gets turned into a cat. That's how the film starts. And then like an angry mob come and like hang the sisters. But yes, this is a children's film. So they hang the Sanderson sisters, and Sanderson sisters are like, they all start singing, and like Winnie, who is like the leader of the pack. You've got Winnie, Mary, and Sarah, and Winnie kind of like does like a last minute spell in the hope that someone will one day bring them back. Fast forward probably like, I don't know, hundreds of years, like 1990.
I think it came out in 300 years. I think they say in the film.
Oh yes,
yeah,
right down to the day.
See?
So 300 years later, they're basically like back in like what's like more modern day Salem, and Max and his family have moved from California to Massachusetts with Salem. He hates it. He comes in, he's like, oh, Halloween's for babies. And the people in Salem do not like this at all. And there's a tradition that there's like the Sandersons' old house used to be a museum, and it's kind of like run down and stuff. And everyone's like, oh, don't light the black candle, because that, like, if a virgin lights the black candle, also very inappropriate for a kid's film. But if a virgin lights the black candle, then the sisters will come back to life. So we have this whole like, trick or treat. Max is being bullied. It's a bit of a div. He then meets a girl. I'm not really sure how, because he's not very likable.
No, I don't know what she sees.
Goes to her house, trick and treat, and they end up going to the Sanderson sisters' house. And what does the idiot do? Lights the black candle.
He thinks he's so cool at the time as well.
He's like, oh, I lit the black candle, and then literally like, all the floorboards start to shake, and it's hilarious. And so the Sanderson sisters come back. They come back into the door. One of the best moments of the film. They're all so excited to be alive. And then basically the rest of the film is how they are trying to like brew this potion, so because they've only come back for one night for the initial spell. They have to brew another potion with all these hundreds of children to basically make them young and live forever. But obviously 300 years have passed, so things are quite different. So what the Sanderson sisters remember, like roads and buses and Halloween. It's hilarious, the film. So the rest of the film, like Max and co steal the book, like the spell book, for most of the film, and the Sanderson sisters trying to get it back. There's a bit with like Winifred's dead boyfriend that rises from the dead from a grave. Then that random cat, I forgot about the cat. The cat who was a kid in the beginning is still alive and kind of helps the kids out. It ends up in a graveyard where basically the sun comes up and turns the witches into stone or dust or whatever it was.
Yeah, they kind of fade away, don't they?
Yeah, because then Winifred basically falls and hits falls on her broomstick, of course, and hits the graveyard and becomes like stone because they can't hit holy ground. The cat turns back into a ghost, walks off into the future with his really creepy little ghost sister, and Max lives happily ever after with his little sister and his weird girlfriend. So I hope we've sold it to you.
I think that was a very good plot summary, to be honest.
Along the way we have inappropriate comments, we have inappropriate sexual comments, we have a fantastic song and dance routine.
Yeah.
If this is a video podcast, I would show you.
Yeah.
But it's not, so I'm sorry.
Just go and watch it. You know, it's a feast for your eyes and your ears.
I mean, I'll be honest, it's a bit of like a letdown in regards to lots of like the graphics and stuff. I was watching as like a viewer now, but it doesn't even matter. Like, it doesn't matter that the graphics are terrible. It doesn't matter that like lots of the costumes are really dodgy. It's just such a good feel-good film. So it was released in 1993. It's actually released in July in America as opposed to October, which is really weird. I don't know why they did that. I actually only saw it for the first time about 3 years ago in our Disney Society Halloween film night.
Yes, that was the first time I saw it too.
Yeah, and I was a bit like, oh, I can't watch this stupid film.
Same.
I was so wrong. I was gripped the entire time. Shockingly, this film was actually a bit of a flop, which is crazy now, given what a cult classic it is. But people, I think probably because it was released in August.
Yeah, I think
July.
The timing probably didn't quite hit the mark there. They probably should have waited to release it in the accurate time.
Especially because Americans, like by the sound of things, like love fall. They go hard for Halloween.
Yeah, they love Halloween, like way more.
I wish we were more like that in the UK.
Yeah.
So it seems weird that they wouldn't be into it. So.
Yeah, it is interesting that it was a flop at the time.
July.
I know. I want to know like what the actual reason was. We'll have to dig into that at some point and find out what it actually was. Because if it was just let's release it in July, I'm like, that's a mistake.
My gut feeling is that they kind of were like, let's release it in July and like see what the response is.
Yeah.
And then we can like tailor it or edit it for the rest of the world release, but
or like maybe just hype it up more at Halloween or something. I feel like they maybe had a release at Halloween planned or something, maybe. But yeah, so I'm gonna go through some reviews now because interestingly, it makes me sad, but most reviews are not great for this film, and I just don't get it. I don't understand what people don't see.
I think in our film critic review section, the critics know nothing.
Yes, they need to be educated in their field. People, what are you watching? Like, I know we're not educated, but in that field. But I mean, so basically, on Rotten Tomatoes, so obviously this is like something that's held to high esteem. It's rated as 37% as a critics. That's what the critics rated it. I was like, what? What are you watching?
Well, clearly, the critics are witch hunters.
Clearly, they had something against Salem and the witches. But then the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes was 71%, which still, in my opinion, isn't high enough, but at least they could see sense. So there was it was better than the critics, because I just don't know what the critics were seeing. And this is how it's described on Rotten Tomatoes, okay? So it says, harmlessly hokey, yet never much more than mediocre. Hocus Pocus is a muddled, family-friendly effort that fails to live up to the talent of its impressive cast. Excuse me.
I'm sorry, you're fired. Bette Midler in this film.
I know.
Like, all of them though, but like Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and is it Mary? Not Mary. That's not actually
Kathy Najimy. So sorry, I butchered that. I don't know how to say it.
They were all phenomenal.
They're
like
so
to be like
together.
Believable witches that actually like weren't cringy. I just love them.
They have such amazing personalities as well. They all have such different personalities, and they make it work. And it's just so you're wrong.
It's just so funny.
That's just wrong. Okay, so then IMDb rates it at a 6.9 out of 10. I still think that's too low.
No, like 7 is the only thing I'll accept.
Me too. That's what I do when I'm looking for a film to watch. I'm like, if it's not above 7, sorry. But then I do sometimes, give in. So in that sense, this wouldn't have passed for me. But there are some good reviews as well. So on IMDb,
from us.
I added this today. So someone said, Hocus Pocus, a film that only comes around once a year, October. I wait all year long to watch this film and have been doing so since I was very young. It's a tradition for them.
Aww.
That's cute. That's really cute. So that was in
But also wrong. It can be enjoyed at any time in the year.
Yeah, that's where we differ, you see. We will watch it any time.
We literally watch it all. I think we watched it near Christmas as well. Like we literally watch it all the time.
So another savage. This is savage. This might make you cry, Katie. So brace yourself.
Oh no.
So Cindy, she left a review on Common Sense Media, and she said, "My 9-year-old daughter called it a waste of her time."
Do you know what? Educate your 9-year-old daughter into decent cinema and fun.
I was like, Cindy, did you try and show her that film properly? Because, wow.
I mean, has Cindy ever, like, you know, told her child it's okay to have fun and laugh?
Yeah, I think
Like,
that's. I'm a bit concerned, Cindy. I mean, so yes,
waste of time.
I know. And then so we've got another one here. So this is quite a long one, but I'll read it. So this is from Empire magazine. So this is actually in 1993.
Okay.
They gave it a 2 out of 5 stars.
Stop it.
I know. And so what they said was, trying to break expectations isn't always a wise idea, and here Disney show how not to do it. With this supposed family movie, they disappoint on nearly every level. The plot is weak, the action poor, and it's got Bette Midler. Simply dreadful. I can't.
What?
And that was in 1993, so that was like a legit review, like when it came out.
Stop it.
I can't. I just. It's not
I'm
okay.
that actually makes me really upset.
It makes me angry. Like I feel quite fiery now.
I feel like I need to go and like find a review and just like rip them down.
I know. We're gonna find you, whoever that was back in 1993.
We're gonna find you.
But the good news is, Bette Midler has said that this is her favourite film that she's worked on.
Yeah.
And so this might be a spoiler if you guys don't know, but there's like rumours that there'll be a sequel. I think the sequel's like been announced, but it's rumours of whether the original cast coming back, basically.
They've announced that they're going to do one, whether it's a remake or a sequel or something. Yeah. And all 3 of the original witches have been like, I'm well up for it. I love how Bette Midler was like, I'm just waiting for the call. Like,
She's like, it's just logistics at this point. But I love it because she says like, I can't wait to fly again, and I just love that. Like, how cute is that?
I mean, one of the things I feel like when you watch the film is just how much fun they must have had making it.
I know.
It must have been amazing.
Oh, it's just, it would have been so much fun. And then Kathy watches it once a year with her family. Like that, I think that's such a nice tradition. That's really cute. And then Flora Birch, so that's who plays Danny. So she says it's probably the most fun she's ever had on set, which, we can imagine.
Yeah.
Like, especially with the cast. Imagine, like, being that young and working with Bette Midler. I mean,
I can't.
You peaked. Where'd you go? Where'd you go from there? Like, legit.
Every other cast member in the future would just pale in comparison to Bette Midler, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, honestly. So yeah.
Hey, Leo, you missed out.
Leo, I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't know what went wrong there. So yeah, it's kind of like a mixed bag of
That's
reviews.
Really weird.
Yeah, because to us,
I think critics don't like to have fun and they don't like to laugh, and they want everything to be very serious.
I agree.
It's not a serious film at all.
No, it's not meant to be taken seriously either.
No, that's the whole point of it. Like, it doesn't take itself seriously.
Exactly.
And we'll talk a bit about in a bit about like, the plot and stuff. And like, it's a family Halloween movie. Like, Halloween movie plots are always very tenuous because Halloween, like, horror things don't happen. So it's like, sorry if I'm bursting your bubble, but witches don't tend to come back after 3 years and terrorize a village. So I mean, the last one, I'm gonna say this one as well. So on Vox, which I think is like a journalist, like a magazine, they said that Hocus Pocus is a garbage movie that doesn't deserve your nostalgia. I was like, it absolutely does. What?
I feel all the nostalgia, and it was only 3 years ago that I watched it for the first time. So
I'm
don't
sorry,
take that away.
These critics are cancelled. I've had enough now.
They're just wrong. So we'll just move on.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
So that brings us on to our Disney fun fact number 4. Are we on number 4?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
We are.
Gosh, okay.
Right. We are speeding today.
So, long after filming the movie, Sarah Jessica Parker discovered that one of her ancestors was Esther Elwell, one of the women accused of being a witch during the Salem witch trials. How awesome is that? After a young girl said she saw Esther's spectre strangling neighbour Mary Fitch, Elwell was arrested but escaped going to trial. That's really cool.
I know. It's the fact that like it was even like in Salem and everything, like where she played the witch, and that was so cool.
Just so fitting.
If anyone is actually interested in like the witch trials and like the witch era, I recommend there's a podcast I recommend that my friend Tash recommended to me called You're Dead to Me, which is like from Horrible Histories. The creative Horrible Histories has done this podcast that kind of they look at history with like a comedian and a historian, and it's really clever, it's really cool, and they have one on like the witch period. So if you are interested, go and give that podcast a listen, because they have really good chat about like the trials and like, you know, how, like it says there, like after a young girl said that she saw like this woman's spectre, kids were literally like bribed by parents and police to like snitch on all women. It was really crazy.
God, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah, so definitely gonna have a listen if you're into witches. And then for my favourite part of today's episode, Rosie and I can discuss our opinions and favourite parts about Hocus Pocus. So this one's probably going to take the most of our time.
Yes.
We're so excited. So Rosie, what do you think about the film in general, and what are your favourite parts? Okay. I say parts because I'm assuming there's more than one.
Yeah, I mean, I have a very standout favourite part myself, but I mean, I have lots. Okay, where to begin? Because as Katie said, I feel like we both had little expectations coming into watching this film on a Thursday evening on Disney Society Film Night 3 years ago. I did not expect to enjoy this film. No. I was expecting to scroll on my phone, I'll be honest. And then
and eat sweets.
Literally, it got to like the first 5 minutes in, and I was like, interesting. I was like, this is already not what I was expecting, because it starts off so strong. There's so much going on.
Yeah, and so serious.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, this is very interesting. And it just got better and better and better. And I just think the reason I love it so much is because the humor is there. Like, it's not cringe. It's actually hilariously funny. Like, I will laugh. And, like, I will have actual tears from cry laughing from this film. And I think it is, like we were saying, like, just the actors, the witches, they're just insane. Like, I just love the personalities they each have and how they're different, but they also blend well, and they just work together as sisters. It's just great. And I love, like, it's kind of like a very like typical Halloween film in the sense that, you know, you've got witches, you've got like the trick-or-treating going on and all that kind of stuff. But I also love that it's kind of not too scary as well, because I mean, I don't really love horror films, so like for me this is the perfect balance. Like, it's got a little bit in there when like a few jumpy bits in it, definitely, but it's not like actually scary or anything, so that's why it's great for kids as well. If I had to rate this film, genuinely I would give it a 10 out of 10, because it just ticks all the boxes for me, like for a Halloween film. And then the fact that obviously it's meaningful to us, kind of, I guess it adds probably an extra point to it. But it's just so great. And I think my favourite part probably doesn't come as a surprise to you, Katie, to be honest, is when they get off the bus and Winnie's being a bit dramatic about getting her book back. And I mean, what's the relationship with that book anyway? I'm just a bit concerned.
It is a bit weird.
What's going on there? And so Winnie's like being quite dramatic. Sarah's just flailing around, like not really sure what's going on. But Mary's got her priorities straight, okay? So of course, if you've watched it, I hope you know what I'm referring to. It's when the calming circle happens, okay? And she says, since this evening promises to be most dire and stressful, I suggest we form a calming circle. And I love it.
It's so you as well. Is that the scene where when he goes, I am calm?
Exactly.
And that's very me. So like, Rosie is the kind of person in any situation that'll be like, I think we all need to take a step back for a second.
Yeah.
So I love that this is your favourite part. I just
love it. Like, I honestly love it. And I think, like when he's like, I am calm, but then she says that, and then she actually does calm down, and they form their calming circle, and they're saying all their calming thoughts. But it's hilarious because they're all like kind of creepy things, and they're just going around in the circle, like saying things like spiders and like stuff like that. And I just love it. I just think it's so great. It was so unexpected, I think, as well. Like, I wasn't expecting them to do that. So yeah. I
think you're right when you talk about the humour and the idea that, like, that's what I mean about it not taking itself too seriously, because, like, obviously that isn't a serious thing that would happen. But it's just so funny because it's just funny, and it's funny because it's not
Yeah.
realistic, and that's the great thing. But it's funny without being cringy, because I feel like cringe comes when people try and take things seriously that aren't meant to be serious, and the film doesn't do that at all. So I agree. I love that scene.
I love it because as well, I think it gives Mary like a bit like for herself, because she's the whole time she's trying to like help Winnie and like calm Winnie down, and she's like, right, this is it. I've had enough of you now. We're gonna stop here. I'm gonna park you here and sort you out. So that's one of my favorites.
Rosie regularly sends this gift to me when I'm not having a great day. We just get this gift of like Mary being like, I think we should form a calming circle. And I'm like,
so yeah,
I of course respond with the appropriate Woody gift that just says I am
calm. Of course. I mean,
our Hocus Pocus gift game
is strong.
It's top notch.
Incredible, honestly. It's just like, we know this film inside out. Yeah, I've got too many favorite parts, but I have to say, like, I know I've said this already, but I think Winnie, just as a whole, I know she's in the whole film, but she just makes that film. She's just incredible.
Yeah,
she's hilarious.
It just makes you like want to wet yourself in time she speaks. Like, she's just so funny.
It's face, her teeth, and like her lipstick's just like half on her lips. I'm like, what?
Every time we watch this film, Rosie is like, what is with the lipstick though? Like every time without fail.
It just bothers me, but it also puts like another element to her personality. Like I love it. So, and I also kind of love how serious Binks is, because although Binks like isn't like a top character,
this is the cat.
Yes, Binks is the Thackeray. Is it Thackeray Binks? That's his name.
Yeah, the human brother turned cat.
Yeah. But like I rewatched it again recently. And it's just the fact that he's so serious when he's talking to Max for the first time. And I'm like, do you really expect Max to like react seriously to what you're saying? You're a cat. So
don't even get me started.
Max is my least favourite part of the film, everyone. So yeah, I think that's my favourite part of the film, but there's just so many. So what's your favourite?
So I have two. I think I have two favourite parts. My first favourite part is absolutely the song. I just love it, and I do you know what I love, because if you've seen it, you'll know. But basically, like, the stupid brat Max tries to out the witches to everybody. And the thing is, in the film, like in Salem, like the Sanderson sisters are like they're like a myth and a legend, aren't they? So people like dress up as them all the time for Halloween. So Max is like, they're the witches. And everyone like turns to look at the Sanderson sisters, and like both like Mary and Sarah, they are a bit like, oh my god, we've been discovered. And Winnie manages to turn it into a musical number so seamlessly when she's like, thanks Max, and then just like whips out this song.
That's iconic.
And then like manages to take control of the entire room. They've got a dance routine prepared, they've got songs prepared, and it then becomes a spell that entrances the entire room to dance. I mean, what a spell.
Amazing.
I'll be honest, I sing that song at the top of my lungs quite frequently around the house. And I do know
but it's not even just that. You know the introduction so well as well, because it's like, thank you Max for that marvellous introduction.
I have definitely recorded this and sent it to Rosie and Danielle many times. And whenever we watch it, I do join in.
Yes. We're used to that.
So that is like so that is like my favourite part of the film, I think, because it's just so unexpected.
Yeah,
not expected.
The first time we were watching it, I mean, we looked at each other like, what is this?
We're like, what is happening? Because the rest of the film doesn't have any songs in it, so it's coming out of nowhere. And then my next favourite scene is when the sisters leave the house to go and search for the children, and they leave the house and they find a road, and from the road to the end of the bus scene, like I actually can't cope. So they're literally a little bit like, what on earth is like a cement? And when he sacrifices Sarah into the road, when they get on the bus, and like the bus, I just can't cope. And like Sarah's like sat on the knee of the bus driver again. It's a bit
so
dodgy.
dodgy,
but it's when like they go like, what? When they open the doors and they're like, what are you looking for? And they're like, children. And he goes, well, it took me a few tries, but I'll do my best.
Oh,
You were like, this is a PG film. Like, what's happening? And literally, Winnie is taking none of his rubbish.
Yeah.
She's like, I love it. And then they get off the bus and the iconic Silence and Sisters walk happens. And if you haven't seen the walk, YouTube it. I've asked Rosie and Danielle to do it with me several times and they keep saying no. But one day when we go to Disney
we will
World,
do it. We will. It's just hilarious.
So they're my favourite parts. I mean, the bus scene. Oh. I literally just can't, like, they step on the road and a bus drives past or a car drives past and they scream and like into the bushes. Like, it's just so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I just love all.
I think it's like they're drunk as well. To me, it's like a drunk reaction.
Yeah.
When they see the bus for the first time, it's like they're so drunk.
They're like, ooh.
Yeah, but it's actually, I've just sorry to steal your thunder, but I've just thought of like another scene that's one of my favourites, and I think it's one of yours as well.
I suppose.
It's when their brooms have gone, so they have to resort to basically like an actual broom cupboard. So there is one in there, and then there's a mop.
Which Winnie gets.
Winnie, of course she gets that. Of course, no one else can possibly have the broom. So then Sarah gets a mop. Okay, that's not too bad. You know. Like a variation of a broom, if you like. And then what does Mary get? What do I get? I get a Hoover. Okay, a Hoover. And it's,
if you're American, that's a vacuum
cleaner. So she jumps on a vacuum cleaner,
with the plug, like the plug hanging.
I just can't. And I was like, of course she gets the short straw. Of course.
The first time we watched this, we were literally in pieces when this happened. We were like, what is happening? Whoever's idea that was is actually just fantastic.
Absolute genius. 10 out of 10.
Oh, I love how they can make them fly. Yeah, there's that bit as well. And the bit like where they're in so they go to try and find the kids and they realise that like, because Mary can smell children, that's her gift. Because food. And they're sort of like in the middle of like this big like main street, and she's like, Winnie, I can smell children but I can't see children because all the kids are dressed up for Halloween. So they think that they're what they're seeing are actually real. So when they go in to like knock on this guy's house and he's like dressed as the devil, they're like, Master! And honestly, this actually broke me when they go in and like they're literally like bowing to him, and like Winnie goes into the kitchen is like, a torture chamber. Like I just think, and then the kids steal their brooms, and it's just, and then like when the kids go boo and they scream, I just can't. Like it's the three of them. The rest of the film I don't even care about.
You can get rid of Max, Alison.
I don't care about the plot.
Danny.
Like I just don't even care. It's just watching those three. Their chemistry on set was incredible. The writing was so clever. But I think like the film, like I say, for them, I'll be honest, it's not its strongest. I wouldn't actually give it a 10. Wow. I'll be honest. I think I'd go like 8 or 9 because of how annoying and stupid the children are.
I see. We
get very frustrated when we watch it with the children. So it's like, and it's also just a little bit weird. So like the parents go to like a Halloween party and leave the kids home alone. Yeah. And the mum dresses very inappropriately.
She's meant to be Madonna. Yeah, like
it's all just a bit much.
It is.
And then there's like one where they go home and like all the kids have like been stolen, all the parents have been like enchanted. And Max, who is such a dweeb, like he's just so unlikable as a character. He turns up, he thinks he knows everything. He is horrible to his little sister. That actually makes me really sad when I watch that, when he pushes her over.
Oh my god, I know.
It actually made me so sad, because I've got like a little sister and I can never imagine doing that to my sister ever. And then there's like him and Alison. Alison's okay, but like Max keeps thinking he's the hero, and he's just dreadful.
For me, it's when he says to Danny when they're going trick or treating, he's like, "Collect your candy and get out of my life." Like he's so.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "Whoa!" Like chill.
He's horrible.
He is.
I mean, to be fair, I do love Danny. I think Danny is so cute
sassy as well, so she's got credibility to her, I think. Alison's a bit.
But there's a really weird scene with Alison and Max.
No.
Where they like fall asleep together, like on this staircase. Bearing in mind they've like stolen the book from 3 like magical witches, and what were they told to do? Don't open the book. what did they do? Open the book. So that makes me really angry. Those scenes frustrate me. I get really frustrated by films and TV shows when people do stupid things.
Yeah.
That is a pet peeve of mine. Like maybe if the book had been open and I don't know, like the mum had come home and opened it, that might have been a bit more realistic or something like that. That would have been more interesting as opposed to just like the stupid children. But other than them,
everything is amazing.
Graphics are also like a little bit like there's a point where a cat gets run over and literally reinflates.
That's the scariest part of the film. It actually makes me feel really ill when he reinflates. I just, it's not natural.
Yeah, when me and Rosie watched it for the first time, we were in shock at how graphic it is for a kid's film.
A bit much.
So see, I do have like, negatives and constructive criticism for it. But the pros absolutely outweigh the cons.
Definitely.
And I think the good thing is you can laugh about how bad those bits are. Like that's what makes the film so good for us. We sit there and are like, really mad.
That's why I give it a 10, because though there are those flaws and annoying bits in it, for me they also add to the film and add to the experience when we watch it. I know that's very like individual to our friendship group, but I'm sure there's lots of other friendship groups out there that see themselves as the sisters. If you're a Mary, apologies, we're in the bottom tier.
If you're Winnie, I'm sorry that everyone else is jealous of you and hates you.
We have a Hoover, okay? You took the broom.
Listen, some of us have more stresses in our lives and deserve the easy path sometimes, and some people like Mary's are just naturally creative and very adaptable.
Well,
can you imagine Winnie on that Hoover? She'd have been an absolute nightmare.
We'd have had to have another calming circle, wouldn't we?
Oh, dear. I guess then the next question is, why do you think the film is still so popular now, given that obviously it came out in 1993 and let's be honest, it's quite outdated in its like graphic and it's like, the costumes, like for Winnie's dead boyfriend, who also conveniently slept with her sister Sarah. Gosh. It's all very dramatic. See, that's why Mary was obviously the favourite, because she didn't sleep with her boyfriend behind her back.
See, I was loyal.
I mean, his costume and makeup, to be fair, is dreadful. It's really bad. But why do we think that it's still so popular now, given the really bad reviews and the questionable like elements of the film?
I think it is just nostalgic. I think because for me, when I watch a film that looks quite old and it's got bad graphics in it, I get like a feeling of like nostalgia. I don't know if that's just me, but I love watching like an older film, and because I don't really do it that often, so when I do it, it's quite a treat as well. So I don't know if it's just one of those films that like one year decided to take off at Halloween, and then people just passed it down to their kids as like the Halloween film to watch.
That's true.
And then it just became like a cult classic.
It's what we'll do for our kids. Our kids are going to have to watch it with us.
Oh, definitely. I wonder if they'll end up being the same like witches.
It's gonna be awkward if we have more than one girl each and there's something
God. That will cause problems. Let's not even think about that. Too many calming circles. So yeah, I think it might just be because it, like I said, peaked one year, suddenly got really popular, and then parents pass it down to their kids, and then that was the Halloween film. But I don't know, because I do think it has, like I said earlier, got a lot of elements of traditional Halloween in it, like with the trick or treating. I think that's the kind of thing people want to watch at Halloween. So I don't know if it was just a grower, people didn't appreciate it enough at the time, and the fact that it wasn't released at Halloween was a mistake. Didn't give it a good chance, really. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's outdated in terms of like graphics and stuff, but like I said, I find that quite a novelty. So for me, maybe that's the appeal. Maybe it's the same for other people. But I think the acting.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the sisters. I think the Sanderson sisters have become iconic and now legends. And obviously that's why they're in the show in Mickey's Not So Scary, I feel like, because people just love them.
That on YouTube, it's incredible. The Sanderson sisters brew their potion to kind of stay like young forever, and they need like, what is it? Not fairy friends, that's weird. They're like freaky friends. And they like basically like summon all that, loads like the Disney villains that then come around stage with them as
yes.
well. It's incredible. Like I watched it probably about like 7 times in a row. Like I love it.
It's just so,
and I
it looks
agree.
so good.
I think it's the 3 sisters that make it. I feel like if you took,
Yeah.
and even the fact that the actresses themselves are so good in the role, it's
Yeah.
written so well. Like, because for me, it's not so much about nostalgia because we only watched it like 3 years ago, and I feel like if I hadn't watched it with you guys, I probably wouldn't love it as much as I do.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But I just think like I am a sucker for like a film that makes me laugh, and this film,
Yeah.
no matter how many times I watch it, makes me laugh every single time.
Oh yeah.
And even though the plot is like they lose that stupid book just so many times. And so the plot itself is a little bit questionable because of the children. Because the children are stupid.
Yeah.
But other than that, I just think like the sisters are just so funny. Like even when they're like the bit like she's just so dramatic. Like the bit when like she loses the book and she's like, "Goodbye, cruel world."
I know. I think it is. It's like the dramatic energy.
Yeah.
And I also think it's the language they use, because they're using like language back from when they were in the 1700s or whatever it was. So like it's when he says things like, "Behold, a torture chamber." And it's like when she says like "thou," and like I just think that adds something to it as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it shows how like
so
they're not familiar with this.
It's
this
so
time.
dramatic, and even like when Sarah and Mary's kind of like doing their own thing, and when he's like, "Why was I cursed with such idiot sisters?" And I just think there's like that's another thing why I think it's such a great film, is that films that do really well tend to be really quotable. So things like Mean Girls.
Oh yeah.
Like those types of films where you can quote things. So like we quote it all the time, like the Carmen Circle thing. That there's a bit where like when he's like, "Oh, what a glorious morning. It makes me sick." We send this to each other every single morning.
Oh yeah.
There's the whole like every time Winnie calls for her book, just hilarious. The song itself is catchy. The Idiot Sisters line, they're amok is also just great.
That's great as well.
So I think it's just so quotable and it's very catchy. It's like a catchy song, that film, I feel. You want to listen to it, even though it might not have like the best melody or like the best singer, because it's so catchy and it's, you know, it makes you feel good. You play that song over and over again. That's how I feel about it, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. And what I love about the Idiot Sisters line is, so when he says, "Why was I cursed with such idiot sisters?" I didn't realize until recently, but Sarah says, "Just lucky, I guess."
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, she's so ditzy. It's next level ditzy. Like she's they're just so great.
But I love how, to be fair, like whenever me, Rosie, and Danielle all kind of, we do quite a lot of escape rooms, and we quite often say like when we go into those rooms, we all have very different strengths when we're in that room, and it's funny because I think the sisters are the same, even though like they're all a bit dumb and a bit like all over the place sometimes. Oh, I forgot to mention they actually get burnt in a furnace at one point. I forgot to mention that bit, and then the book brings them back.
But that's great because there's the whole like bibliothèque, because it's like a language tape, isn't it, funny. That they play.
Oh my god!
And then when he like comes out speaking like French or Spanish, because
it talks about like I want my book. It's like you know, where's my book? And she comes out of the furnace like, "I want my book. Je voudrais un livre."
Yeah, it's just so great. I love it.
Yeah, so I think you're right. I think, you know, like they have so many elements to them that are just hilarious, and that's what I think is nice, is all the sisters have their, even in the film, they all have their talents, and there's that nice idea from friendships and from families where even if people frustrate you at times, or like, you know, everyone has their own talents that you don't always see, because I try not to be like this like Winnie, but quite often, like if you are someone like Winnie, who I am a little bit, who is a bit more confident and is like, you know, is used to being in leadership positions, you can sometimes overlook other people's abilities and skills. And I think it's quite nice that in the film, like Sarah and Mary both have like their own skills. So Sarah obviously sings to some of the children and Mary can sniff them out, and like Winnie will defer to them and will be like she knows their skills and like helps them use them and encourages them to use it. So I think that's quite nice, is that it's that reminder that even if you're part of like a friendship group or a family group, to remember that everyone has their own skills is really important.
Yeah, I completely agree. And actually, interesting, I found something that kind of builds on what you've just said, or kind of reflects what you've just said. So I was looking just, some trivia for Hocus Pocus.
Of course.
And I came across some trivia about how they were like flying. And obviously we love the flying scenes.
We do.
So it's I can't remember where I got this from, so apologies, terrible of me, but here we are. So each actress flew in character. So Winifred is in charge and much more aggressive than the other two, of course.
Mm-hmm.
She's always leading the way and looking for children. And then Sarah loves to fly. She's always lifting up with her mop and can't wait to get up into the air. Whereas Mary is more cautious. Like a good driver, she signals with her hand. Mary is the safe and steady flyer.
It's funny because it reflects the three of us so well, because like I am very, I mean, like, to be fair, I used to be more Winnie when I was younger. I was definitely that bossy kid in school. And I remember in year 3 being given a target to like do better in group work. And that has stuck with me through life, is that I am very aware of that now, of like trying not to be too stubborn, trying to have an open mind. But I am very Winnie-esque in the sense that like I do tend to naturally take charge of things, because I'm used to having done that within like my theatre degree and within like my roles in the past. So, and I am quite like, right, here's our plan, what we're going to do. To be fair, I ask you and Danielle, but quite often I get from Danielle in particular, Danielle hates making decisions. If I ask Danielle when she wants to go for lunch, it stresses her out. She's like, I don't know, just pick somewhere. So
it's always like, I don't mind.
Anywhere, I don't mind. So I have to be this decisive person. And then you have someone like Danielle who are just really excited about things. So like if we mention that we're going to go somewhere, or we're going to do something, or we're going to, I don't know, buy something, next time we chat about it, Danielle has researched every review and every possible way that we can buy it. So she is very like Sarah in the idea of like, she kind of goes and is excited and wants to like just enjoy things.
She gets swept up in things.
Yeah, and then I'm like, Danielle, it's been a week. Like, yes, we're excited. And then obviously with Mary is that kind of, this isn't even meant to sound nasty, but she is a sensible one of the group. But quite often, like, myself and Danielle can get quite excited about things, or like whatever, and then Rosie's like, yes, but we forgot the point. And that's what's quite nice, is that I think you can see people within each one, even though, and then Mary is still so much fun, like when she goes and she like, obviously with her eating, and her smile is fantastic, and the fact that she like, and she's like, she still gets involved with it all, and she questions it. I love when like Mary questions it and then just goes along with it anyway. I love that.
I love that too.
So yeah, I think what's nice is they all have their own personalities that kind of people can match to. I'm definitely more like Woody than I like to think. It's fine. I'm working on it.
You say that as if it's a bad thing, though, and
she has positives.
Oh, she does,
yeah. Oh, can you tell we love this film?
we could talk about this forever. I wish this is what we were doing. Like,
I'm just about a full-time job. And
honestly,
to bring this section to a close, then, of course, the iconic question. I wonder what your answer will be. Who is your favourite Sanderson sister?
Well, I mean, with all that build-up, it has to be Mary, doesn't it? I can't really say Sarah. It's Sarah, guys. I've been holding back a secret this whole episode. Imagine. No, it's Mary. I can relate to her. I am very similar to her, and like you say, like sensible. I am the sensible person. Like, I always am that person, and sometimes that can be viewed as the boring person by some people, but I think everyone needs.
It's very valuable to have a sensible person.
Though it might not be the most popular trait, if people appreciate it when it's needed. So.
It's true. There's so many times we've been like stood on the corner in Manchester trying to decide where to eat, and Danielle's going, I don't mind. And I'm like, we need to just pick somewhere. I am starving. And Rosie is like, right, here are 3 places that we can try, and if we don't like that, we can come back. And me and Danielle are like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So it's very useful.
Legit. Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow. It's becoming more apparent we are definitely the witches we say we are. So yes, Mary's my favourite. For obvious reasons, it seems. But as I've said, it's not I don't like Sarah, because I do. I think she's great. But Winnie is just amazing as well. So credit to her.
I mean, obviously, like, I love all 3 of them. Of course, like, and the thing is, I don't think none of them would be the same that the other 2, which I think is what's really nice as well.
Definitely.
If you remove Sarah, Mary and
it doesn't work.
Benny on their own would not be as funny and not be as great. So same, like any of the other way would be great. So obviously Winnie is my fave. But the reason I always loved her is that, like, She is so strong and she's very passionate. And to be fair, like, she can be a bit selfish at times. To be fair, that is the one bit where I don't think I'm like her. I'm not a very selfish person. That is the one part where I tend to go the other way too much sometimes. But I think like she does still, like, when she talks about, like, I think she takes on like the mum role. It's quite funny. Like,
yeah, she does. Like the matriarch.
Their mum's in hell. I love them to talk about their mum being in hell. It's hilarious.
I know.
So I think that's quite nice that when she like looks out for sisters sometimes, and I love her confidence in life. And even when, like, you know, it's a brand new world, she hasn't experienced this environment ever, and she just goes for it. Like, she just kind of like,
she still
takes it in her stride, and she knows what she wants. She wants that book, and no one's gonna stand in her way. So I love a good, strong female lead. So yeah,
you do.
I do.
It's true.
And I mean, her hair is just
her lipstick.
I think I'm going to wear my lipstick like that next time I see you.
Iconic. It's just...
And, I mean, before we even, like, finish, their dresses.
They're gorgeous.
That's the next step up. So we've all just got matching, like, plaid, like, what do they call it? Like, flannel shirts. That match. They're from Truffle Shuffle, and they, like, mine has, like, a Winnie quote. Well, actually, I don't even think it's a Winnie quote, actually, is it? It's just a...
No, is it the Hocus Pocus one?
Yeah. But I think it just seems to match, like, it matches with, Winnie probably says something similar.
Oh, she does actually say that line, though, because I know Max says it originally, but I'm sure she says it back to him.
Yeah. And then Rosie's, obviously for Mary, has the calming circle quote.
Of course.
And then Danielle's for Sarah has a muck on it, because Sarah loves that. It's funny, because like, drunk Danielle reminds me so much of, like, Sarah in general. It's hilarious. So we've just got those that now match. I think the next step up is a full-on dress costume.
Yeah, I agree. I think it needs to be done. Because the colours are so great as well.
And the colours
like,
are all us. It's so weird.
They are.
Like,
yeah.
The colours that our individual witches wear match us so well. I actually can't explain it. If you go and look on our Instagram feed, we posted one of Rosie's and mine, and the colours that we have just are our colours. It's crazy.
They honestly, it's just perfect.
And Danielle's make her eyes look so blue. It's amazing.
Yeah. It was just meant to be. Maybe we're like, maybe we are the Sanderson sisters.
Maybe we have come back. If someone lights the black flame candle, maybe we'll all just remember that we're actually the sisters.
Yeah, maybe. I think we're going too far.
And with that, we'll stop. So thank you for listening. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we've got you into the spooky spirit, ready for Halloween. We hope you've got you planning your Halloween marathons as we speak. I hope you've all just put, like, Hocus Pocus on your list for the next week to watch. If you've enjoyed our episode today, please go and subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts so you get nice notifications of when we post. Or you can follow us on Podbean as well. Which is our, like, primary hosting platform. If you've been listening for a while, so obviously we're on number 7 now, we know that loads of you are watching or listening because we see the numbers.
Yes.
We know that we have, like, around, like, you know, there's over 30 of you at least listening to each episode. So if you've been listening for a while, we'd really appreciate you leaving a review, just so that we can read them and just, like, see what you guys like, what you enjoy, what you want more of. Because we do pay attention. So, for example, like the Disney Parks episode we did a few weeks ago, it's definitely been, like, our least popular one. So we're not going to do another one of those for a while, because we know that you're not into them as much. So we definitely listen and look. And also, like, it does help us kind of, like, boost, like, our visibility in things like Spotify and Apple as well. So that would be really, really useful. And thank you to the wonderful listeners who've already left another kind review this week. We've had another review this week, so thank you. If you have any Disney friends that you know, like, either love podcasts or love Disney films, pass us on to them, and then you can have someone to talk to it about. Because I hate having a podcast that no one else has listened to.
Yeah, or like a TV series. Like, it's hard because you've got so much to say about it, and no one's talked to you about it. It's all, like, kept inside. You just want to let it out.
So find a Sprinkler Disney buddy. There you go.
That's your challenge.
There you go. That's your homework for the next 2 weeks.
But seriously though, like, those reviews, I nearly teared up. I was like, we've got reviews. It made us
they
so
just
happy.
come out of nowhere. That was why.
It was just so lovely. So yes. So also, don't forget to follow along with our Instagram for all of our latest magical adventures, or throwbacks, as they mainly are at the moment. Sadly, but you know, it's still great. It's still magical. And we'll be sharing some spooky Disney snaps this week, so keep an eye out for those. Because, you know, spooky season is upon us.
We started with our Hocus Pocus funnels, so
yes,
now for some more spooky themed pictures coming your way.
Yes. And then coming up next time, I'm very excited for this. We're moving on to another Disney Plus episode, as you guys liked that one so much last time. And we will be reviewing Onward.
I'm really excited.
So that's the Pixar film that was released back in March in cinemas, but unfortunately, due to the pandemic situation, didn't quite have the release that it was meant to.
No.
And so it was put on Disney Plus this month, the beginning of this month, I think it was.
last week, yeah.
So give that a watch if you haven't seen it already.
I'm gonna have
I've
to
seen
watch
it. Yeah, you need to see it. You haven't seen it yet.
No.
I
was planning to see it the week the world shut down. So
yes,
it was really sad.
But it had other plans for you, didn't it?
So yeah, I'm gonna watch this week. So if you're like me and haven't seen it, give it a watch. So we know what we're talking about, because I haven't got a clue what we're talking about yet. So because I haven't seen it.
It's a great film. You won't be disappointed, I promise you. And I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're looking forward to that one. And then finally, if you've got any inquiries or anything you want to let us know, or just literally anything, if you just want to have a chat, then we've got our email address, which is a sprinkleofdisneypodcast@gmail.com, I believe.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, just hit us up on there if you've got anything you want to say to us. Honestly, we'd love to hear what you have to say. And we've been a Sprinkle of Disney. Have a magical rest of your day.